Hello guys, I hope to be great. So today we are going to talk about interactive reading in the Duolingo exam. When I say interactive reading, guys, I mean 5 modules. So let me show you the 5 modules under the name of interactive reading. The first module is complete the sentences. The second module is complete the passage. The third module is highlight the answer. The fourth module is identify the idea. And the final module is title the passage. So we have to discuss all these modules and absolutely we have to practice them. So I think we have to start with the first module, which is complete the sentences. So let me show you the directions and absolutely the tips uh, um, 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 before we start practicing this module. So let me open this file and let me start discussing the first module of the interactive reading, which is complete the sentences. So this is interactive reading, and this is the first module, which is complete the sentences. Okay. Now, let me show you, as I told you, the directions. After that, I have to read the tips that you don't have to forget. Then we have to start practicing. So, complete the sentences asks you to select the best option for each missing word. In this task, you will see a passage with several blank spaces, and I have to select a word just to complete the sentence. Keep in mind that I have 7 or 8 minutes for all 6 questions. So this is the passage, this is the page that is going to be shown in front of you, which is about select the best option for each missing word. So we now to see that we have blanks and I have to select the best word just to complete the sentence. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, let me show you the tips. And after that, absolutely, we have to start practicing. So I have to read the entire sentence and I have to use context clues just to help me to determine the best word choice. If you don't know the meaning of context clues, please guys, watch the video on the channel. This video is talking about context clues and the video is talking about the 4 skills I have to manage just to be able to know the meaning of certain words. So please watch the video about context clues just to know the meaning of, as I told you, of context clues. Okay, now time permitting, if I have enough time, I have to read the passage after I have completed all the sentences as a way to double check my responses. So you can complete the sentences in any order. I mean, you can, if you want, you can choose the word, the best word in blank 5, for example. Then you want to choose the word in blank 2, then 4, then 1, then 3. So you can do that in any order. You want to be able to press or click next until you have selected a response for each blank. So when you select all the words, this button is going to turn just to be orange. So you will not be able to press next until you select all the words, and this button, as I told you, turns orange. So to navigate between the sentences, you can use your mouse or touchpad or the tab button. So these are the tips that I have to remember just to be able to solve this module correctly. So this is it. Just to recap, I have to use context clues, I have to double check, and I can choose the words in any order. And please, you want to be able, as I told you, to press next until you fully select all the words. So this is it. So this is the first blank, for example. So I can here try to choose the word, and notice that the word, when I choose the word is going to be appear in the blank. So I have to do the same with all the blanks that I have in the module. So I have 9 words. So I have to select 9 words just to be able to press next. So this is it. Notice that here I selected the word which is abroad, and notice here that this is blank number 1, and so this is the word abroad, which is here in the first blank. So I have to do the same here with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just to select all the words. So this is it. Notice here that I selected all the words, the 9 words, and then I can press next. Wait. Okay, so this is it. Now I think it's the time to practice. Now, guys, I'm going to show you a certain passage, and absolutely you have to select the best word just to complete the sentences or the sentence. And I'm going to specify 1 minute just to be able to select all the words in the question. So let's begin, and please be careful. Absolutely, after finishing of this 1 minute, I'm going to show you the correct words that you have to select. So this is passage number 1. Please now read the passage carefully and select the best option for each missing word. And I told you that I want to give you 1 minute. So time starts. Okay, guys, the 1 minute is finished. Now let me show you the correct words that I have to select, and I have to try to explain why I have selected these words specifically. Yeah, I think like this, but let me adjust my screen. Yeah, like this exactly. Yeah, so these are the correct words that I have to select. Okay, so let me read, and let me try to tell you why, as I told you, I have selected these words specifically. Okay, and I have to try to do the best. Exactly. Okay. Okay. We notice, guys, that the word number 1 is held. Now, keep in mind, guys, or try to notice that before held, we have. So have held is a present perfect. So we have or has, and I have to choose verb 3. The verb 3 is the past participle of the main verb. So notice that took is not a past participle. So we have held, defended, inhibited, and distilled. Now, if you want to read the complete sentence, you notice that throughout history, pearls have held a unique presence within the wealthy and powerful. So this is the correct one, which is not defended, absolutely, not inhibited, not distilled, but I have to say have held a unique presence within the healthy and powerful. For instance, so notice here that the word is instance. Why? Because guys, talking about a certain example. And if I want to talk about a certain example, I have to say, for example, or maybe for instance, because we have for before, so I cannot say for happening and comma, or maybe for items, then I have to write the comma, or maybe for sample, or for time. So to mention an example, I have to say, for example, after that, I have to write the comma, or I can say what, for instance. So for instance, the pearl was the favorite gem of the wealthy. Now, keep in mind that I'm talking about wealthy. This is wealth. This is wealthy. So I'm talking about the wealth of pearls. So I have to say not upscale, for the upscale during the Roman Empire, not lucky and not booming. So notice that of the wealthy. And keep in mind, guys, that lucky is an adjective. Booming is an adjective. So I have to select wealthy because, as I told you, I'm talking about wealthy. Okay, so Roman women wore pearls to bed so they could be reminded. Okay, keep in mind, guys, that after here we have off. So this is it. We have reminded, and here we have off. Now, keep in mind that remind, uh, uh, um, I mean, I have to use off with remind. For example, you reminded me of my friend. So I have to say that they could be not absolutely, because not memory, because memory is a noun. So not relieving. So I have to say reminded me of, this is of their wealth immediately. Now, because I'm talking about waking up, I have to say of their wealth immediately. I cannot say simultaneous, for example, or per day, per month, per year. I don't have anything like that after the word. And if I want to say agree, absolutely, I have to use the preposition with agree. For example, I agree with you, and I don't have here any with after the word. So I have to say upon waking up. Now, before jewelers learned to cut gems, the pearl was of a greater value. So because I'm talking about a greater value, this is number one. Number two, guys, notice that here I have than. Because I have than, I'm talking about comparative. Larger than, smaller than, greater than. So most is not comparative, it is superlative. And outstanding is adjective. So it's not outstanding, it's not leading, and it's not cooler than. Absolutely, it is the opposite. So I have to say a greater than. So please be careful about the grammar because they are really important. The diamond. In the Persia, okay, in the Persia Empire, pearls were ground into powders to cure anything from heart disease to the end of the sentence. And guys, notice here that we have two. Because we have two, after two, I have to use a verb. And we notice that remedy is a noun, relief is a noun, maintenance is a noun. So I don't have to select them because they are not verbs. So after neglecting these words, now we have pure and cure. And keep in mind, because I'm talking about a certain disease, now it is about to cure this disease, not to cure the disease. So this is why I have to know that it is a cure. So this is it. Now, let me show you the next passage. And absolutely, as I told you, I have to give you 1 minute just to select the words. So this is the next passage, which is passage number 2. And time starts. Okay, guys, so the 1 minute is finished. Now I have to show you the correct words I have to select in passage 2. Okay. So, okay. So these are the correct words in passage 2. Let me erase my screen. So, absolutely, I have to explain why I have selected these words. Okay. So we notice, guys, that the first blank is person. Now, if you want to ask me why, keep in mind that here I have relative pronoun, which is who. Who, I have to use who for what? For people. So I have to say, without a shadow of a doubt, the person who. So this is why I cannot say the item who. With item, for example, I have to use which, not who. With idea, I have to use which. With object, I have to use which. So with people, I have to use who. So we have two words I have to select, which are person and people. Now, which one? Is it person or people? Keep in mind that after after who, so we have the verb is. Who is inspired me? Because is a singular verb, so I have to use what? Person. If I have are instead of is, absolutely, the word I have to select is people, but not person. So again, because who is talking about people, I have to choose who, and because the verb after who is, and because it is singular, I have to use person. So without a shadow of doubt, the person who has inspired me most in my life is my father. He taught me. So he taught me everything. We notice that my father taught me everything, not learned me, because I'm not the person who is teaching. Okay? If I'm the person who I'm teaching, I have to say learn or maybe teach. So I cannot say he learned because my father is teaching me everything. So I have to say teach, not code, for example, or saw or something like that. So taught me almost everything I know from personal parts of life. Okay, so notice here, guys, that we have excellent, thriving, interest, skills, and personal. And if you want to read after the word, we notice that I'm talking about parts of life, academic and personal life, and sorry, professional life. So I'm talking about these adjectives. So academic, professional, and personal parts of life. Absolutely, it's not skills, interest, thriving, or maybe excellent. So, because I have these adjectives, as I told you, academic is an adjective, professional and personal is an adjective, and because I'm talking about life, I have to say personal life. My dad has many great characteristics. Now, if you want to ask me why I chose characteristics, not charm, for example, or personalities, or maybe trait, or insight, because I have two examples about characteristics. I have enthusiastic. This is the first characteristic about my father, and this is kind. So these are two examples about characteristics. I cannot say trait because trait is singular, only one, and here I have two. So it's not insights, for example, because I'm talking about characteristics, and because the writer mentioned two examples about characteristics, I have to know that the correct answer is characteristics. Okay? But most importantly, he's a kind, as I told you, he's a kind and enthusiastic person who. So notice again, I have the relative pronoun, which is who. Because I'm talking about person, I have to say who. So, who loves life and the people? Absolutely, I cannot say person is loves. It's impossible to use verb to be with main verb plus s or upon loves or under loves or rather loves. So I have to say because I have person and I'm talking about a person, I have to choose the relative pronoun, which is who loves life and the people around him. Absolutely, I'm talking about the people around my father. It's not above him. Absolutely, it's can. I cannot say this word. Or under him, people under him, or people between him, or maybe people behind him. So I cannot say like that. I have to say people around him. Now, on top of being a good person, notice here I have more, and I have up, above, top, and addition. Keep in mind that I cannot use on the preposition on with more or on up or on up above. I can't use the preposition on with these words. So even if you want to say addition, you have to say in addition. So addition takes the preposition in, but not on. So this is why I have to say on top of being a good person. He's also very smart. When he was younger, he was one of the pioneers. Okay, now if you want to take a look at the words that I have first, pioneers, best, explorers, and searcher. Okay, now keep in mind that if you want to say, for example, he was one of the first one, of the first what, of the first of, so I have to mention a noun after first. For example, he was one of the first students, of the first teachers, for example. So because I don't have any noun after first, it's not first. Even best, you have to mention the noun. For example, he was one of the best whom? Of the best what? Of the best people, of the best students. And because I'm talking about computer science education, I cannot say explorers. I'm not discovering places, for example. And it's not about research. So we have to say he was the first one to study, for example, computer science education in my country. So the first one means pioneers. Okay, guys, so this is it. Now I think it's the time to show you the next passage. Um, Let me try to wait, what's this? Okay. Okay. So let me show you the next passage. And as usual, I have to give you 1 minute to try to select the correct word. Guys, because we are practicing, you can pause the video and take more time because, and I know that we are practicing and we are not that familiar with this module. You can pause the video and take your time, but please, you have to be careful that you don't have too much time in the Duolingo exam. So this is the next passage and time starts. Okay, guys, so the 1 minute is finished. As I told you, you can pause the video and take your time just to select the correct words. So let me try to do the same because I want to show you the correct words I have to choose. Okay, so we notice that the first blank is starts. So scientists in Germany have cast doubt on a previously believed assumption that the processing speed of our brain, it starts to decline from this age, which is 20. So it's not hardly to decline, not knows to decline. I cannot say processing speed of our brain knows to decline, or maybe gives to decline, or even acts to decline. So I have to say starts to decline from the age of 20. Until now, it has been thought. So it has been thought that our cognition level. So I have to say absolutely it has been thought. I cannot say it has been bought because the present of both is buy. I'm not buying anything, for example. Or it has been made. Made what? So, or filled or chanced, please. So I have to say it has been thought that our cognitive, okay, our cognitive level, okay, peaks. So when I say peaks, is reaching the peak when we are 20 and declines thereafter. So we notice here, guys, I have to say that our cognitive level peaks, reaches the peak, not upscale, not fortune, and not booming, and not lucky. Keep in mind that lucky is not a verb, and booming is not a verb. Fortune is not a verb. Yes, upscale, I can use it as a verb, but keep in mind because I'm talking about singular, I have to use the S in the simple present. So it's not upscale. This is why I have to choose peaks, which is the peak. Why? Because as I told you, this is a singular, and because now I'm using the simple present tense, I have to add S with the verb. So peaks, which is the peak when we are 20 and declines thereafter. A recent study was based on data from over 1.1 million people. I cannot, guys, say from with sense. I cannot use a proposition like with from, with sense, I mean, or from at. Come on, guys, I cannot say from at, or from upward, or from in. Notice that these are two propositions. So I cannot say like this. I have to say from over, and because I'm talking about people, from over 1.1 million people aged between 10 and 80 years old. The results show, okay, that our mental processing speed remains remains relatively constant until we reach the age of 60. So absolutely, I cannot say waits, for example, or visits. I'm not talking about visiting, or pauses for, let me say, a short period of time. Stops, it's not about stops, but still the same, still the same until. So notice that because I have until, I have to say remains the same until the age of 60. But of 60, okay. But does it start to decline from our seventh decade? Now, keep in mind because our is a possessive pronoun. After our, I have to mention the noun. Guys, them is an object pronoun, and I don't have to mention a noun, for example, after them, or even us. Us is an object, possessive, so I cannot use a noun after us. For example, this car is for us. I didn't mention any noun after us, and even ourselves, I have to mention ourselves at the end of the sentence because it is a reflexive pronoun, and absolutely I don't have to mention any noun after ourselves. For example, we have to do the job ourselves. So notice that I didn't mention any noun after ourselves. Even they, because they is subject to pronoun, and it should be used, for example, in the beginning. I cannot say they, seventh decade, so I have to say our seventh decade. Keep in mind, guys, that with possessive pronouns like my, our, their, her, his, I have to mention the noun after these possessive pronouns, and this is the noun that I have to mention after. So this reason for taking longer. So because guys, notice here that I'm talking about time. So long period of time. And because I'm talking about long period of time, I cannot say a great or bigger time, for example, or larger time. I'm not talking about things. I'm talking about things that I cannot see, for example, or further. So because I'm talking about time, I notice that 20 years, 60 years. So because as I told you, I'm talking about time, I have to say longer time was because we become more cautious and or we go, as we age, sorry. Okay, guys, so these are the correct words. Now I think we have to complete the practicing. Now let me show you the next passage, and as usual, I have to stop for 1 minute. Then we have to complete. And if you want, or if you need more time, because we are practicing, try to pause the video just to be able to select the words correctly. So this is passage number 4, and try to select the best option for each missing word and the time, or let me say that now my time starts. Okay, guys, so I think now I'm going to show you the correct words I have to select for the final passage. So this is it. We notice that the answer or the word of blank number 1 is taken. Keep in mind, guys, that this is past perfect. And in the past perfect, absolutely, I have to use had plus verb 3 or the past participle of the main verb. Have is not a past participle. Study absolutely is not a past participle. So I have to say I recently learned to cook. I had never taken lessons. And notice that because I'm talking about lessons, the verb with lesson is take. I want to take a lesson, for example. So because again, I'm talking about classes or lessons, I have to say take a lesson. So takes lessons. So this is why I have to say I had never taken any cooking lessons, nor followed recipes correctly. So it is no wonder I was bad. Okay, keep in mind, guys, that I cannot say it is no. So I can't say like this, absolutely. And it is no place. Again, I'm not talking about places. And even, guys, if you want to say, for example, it is no mind, you have to say it doesn't mind, for example. I cannot say it is no mind. I have to say it doesn't mind. And even with thought, I cannot say like this. So this is why it's not thought. It's not, it is no mind. And even a place, I'm not talking about places or even so, because I cannot use, I cannot say it is no so, it's something wrong. So I have to say, it is no wonder. So it is no wonder I was bad. I have always been a fan of taking classes. So as I told you, this is a class, and the verb with the class is what take. So this is why I chose he taken online. So last month, I thought. Keep in mind, guys, that this is last month. This is the simple past. Because this is the simple past, I have to choose or use a simple past verb. So notice that speak is in the simple present, so it's not speak at all. So we have thought, wonder, and wonder is in the simple present. So I don't have to use wonder. So I have or even worked. So I have thought, planned, and worked. Okay. And even plan, guys, if you want to say, for example, I'm planning to visit my sister, for example. So notice that I have to use to, for example, after plan, and here I don't have to, so it's not plan. So I have to say last month I thought, which is the simple past of think. I thought it would be good for me to take an online cooking course. 4 more studies had been fantastic reviews. So I have to choose reviews. I cannot choose fantastic planned because this is an adjective. And after the adjective, absolutely, I have to mention a noun. So planned is not a noun. So programs, so I'm not talking about computer programs, for example, or even books just to talk about editions. So now I am talking about reviews online. So this is why I have to say 4 more students had written reviews about it. And so I was excited to begin the class. I was excited to start the class. So, and as I told you before, guys, absolutely after to, I have to use verb zero. And wrote is simple past, it's not wrote. And diary is a noun, so it's not diary. So we have begin, we have find, and we have a plan. I'm not planning, for example, I'm not planning any classes because now after checking the reviews of these students, I want to start my lesson, my class. So I have to say, I was excited to start or begin the class or my class, not to find the class because I have already found the classes which were about cooking lessons. So this is why I have to say begin or start. The teacher went through all the basics from the essential equipment to basic knife skills. So we notice here that I have to say essential. Now, guys, if you want to read the full sentence, we notice that the teacher went through all the basics from the single equipment. It's not about single equipment because notice that after we have knife skills, so not single equipment or even not second equipment. And absolutely, we have wonder, for example, or easier. It's not about comparative or even wonder. It's not like that. So I have to say, essential. The teacher went through all the basics from the essential, from the important equipment to what? To knife skills and to basic knife skills. So I cannot say to most knife skills or price. I'm not talking about prices or far, for example, distance or just to load things. So because I'm talking about skills. So for example, this is about basic skills. So this is it, basic skills. Because, sorry, because I'm talking about skills, absolutely, I have to say basic skills. This is why I have to select basic. Okay, every class left me more and more confident. Even though making complicated dishes is hard, I'm improving every day. So notice, guys, that I have to choose improving because I'm talking about learning. Now, if you are talking about learning, for example, learning the English language, you have to say I'm improving. Okay? Let me tell you why it's not learn. Notice that I have I am. And here I have the auxiliary, which is verb to be. After auxiliary, I have to use verb ing. So here we have learn. We don't have ing with learn. So it's not I'm learn. It's something wrong to say like that. And I'm getting what? So if you want to say I'm getting what? I'm getting better, for example, and I don't have better. I'm rotating again. You are rotating cow and what? So this is something wrong. So I have to say that I'm improving every year. Okay, so I'm making, for example, a progress. So this is why I have to say improving. And please keep the grammar in your mind all the time because absolutely grammar is extremely important. So we still have one passage. Okay, so I think we because we are practicing, let's try to finish practicing because we still have this final passage, which is number 5. And as usual, I have to give you 1 minute just to finish solving or selecting all the words just to complete the sentences. Take more time if you want. Please pause the video just to do that. And because now I'm recording this video, this is why I only have to wait for 1 minute. So this is the final passage, and please try the best to select the best words. Okay, guys, so the 1 minute is finished. Now let me show you the correct words I have to select in passage number 5. Okay, so these are the correct words. Now let me read and tell you why I have selected these words. So April Fool's Day is on the first day of April every year. So notice that the first day of every year, it's not about all year because I'm talking about what? Only the first day. So it's not all year. In year, absolutely, I cannot say or use in with year. It's not around. If you want to say around, for example, around the year. And it's not out here because I cannot mention or say out with year. So this is why I'm talking about only the first day every year, every year. So this is why I have to choose every. It's a day when people can play what? Can play tricks. So let me tell you why it's about tricks. I can't, guys, say can play much practical jokes. Notice that jokes is countable noun. And because it is countable noun, I cannot use much. I have to use many. And play appointments. I cannot say play appointments because the word appointment doesn't take a play. Fixtures, it's not about fixtures at all because I'm talking about what? I'm talking about jokes, and these jokes, for example, should be played on this day. So I have to say to play tricks on this day, which is the first day of April. Okay? So tricks, practical jokes, and hoaxes to each other or on each other. No one really knows the exact origin of this day. So I have to say, no one really knows the origin of this day. Am I? Yes, this is it. 3. And okay, open. Aha, this is it. Okay. So notice, guys, I cannot say, for example, no one really knows the open origin of this day, or the able, or the prosper, for example. Prosper is a verb, and here I have to use an adjective before this noun, and prosper is not an adjective. Or the shut origin, come on, I cannot say the shut origin. This is something wrong. And absolutely the open origin, I cannot say like that. So I have to say, I cannot know the exact day, or the exact time, or the exact any time, for example, for mentioning this day. So I have to say the exact day, or the exact origin of this day. Okay, so this is the day upon which we are. Okay, I have to read from here. The writer Mark Twain famously said, "This is the day upon which we are reminded of what we are on the other 364 days." So notice that the correct word is other, because absolutely I cannot say we are on the decent days. I can't, or the new days. I'm not talking about new days or fresh days, for example, but I'm talking about the other days. This is why I have to say other. In some countries, you have until noon to jokes. So notice that because it's about playing, I have to say play jokes, not hit jokes, for example. This is something wrong. Or face jokes, or mask jokes, jokes, sorry, or even flop jokes. So I cannot say like this. Absolutely, the best verb with jokes is what is play. So to play your jokes. If you play a trick on, okay, now notice that the tricks I'm playing should be on people, because should be on people, I have to say on someone. Notice, guys, that here someone is a noun. So I have to mention a noun after trick on. So trick on famous. Famous what? I need a noun after famous, and here I don't have a noun. Affecting is an adjective. I don't have a noun after affecting. And even encourage is a verb. Encourage what? Encourage people, for example, I don't have a noun. Supporting what? Supporting people, again, I don't have a noun. So this is why I have to say play, trick on people or someone. After midday, you will receive bad luck. In other countries, April Fool's Day lasts the whole day. The whole day, sorry, not whole. So the whole day. So this is why I have to say the whole day. Absolutely, I cannot say the took. I can't mention, I can't, so we mention the, and then the verb to. This is something wrong. So because I'm talking about a day, now I have to use an adjective. So vacant day, absolutely. It's not like that splendid day, no, or overdone day. So I'm talking about the whole day. So this is why the correct word is whole. On this day, you never know what or who to believe. So notice, guys, because I'm talking about the tricks, and absolutely, if you are talking about the tricks, maybe you will believe this is trick, or maybe you don't want to believe it, for example. So because I'm talking about tricks, I'm talking about jokes. So now I'm talking about believing in these jokes, or maybe not. So this is why I have to use this verb with jokes, which is believe. Absolutely not to buy something, or to secure something, or to catch something, because I'm talking about tricks, jokes. I have to say to believe in this joke. So sometimes people actually think the real news on TV is an April Fool's joke again. So this is it. Please, guys, be careful, because you have to read the full passage, and absolutely you have to read before and after the word that you have to select, just to be able to select the correct word. This is it. I hope that you selected most of the words correctly. So I think now it's the time to discuss, sorry, the second module in interactive reading. Thank you so much and good luck.